Hello everyone, Chief here. Today I want to teach you how to make you a Minecraft server in 2023. Now before you click off, making a server is honestly real simple. Just about as simple as exploding a jackal's brain matter across a wall with a battle rifle. So what you want to do first is open a web browser, kind of like the Intel interfaces you find across Halo installations. Search up Minecraft server jar. Once you do that, you should see a minecraft.net link that points you to the latest server jar download. Click that, just like how you clicked various nuclear ordnance buttons in your missions. After downloading, on that same page also is a link to a first-time tutorial wiki. Now the wiki has a lot of shit that no one gives a single flying rat fuck to read. Who can blame you? So first you need to make sure you have Java installed. Without this, the server is getting nowhere, just like a warthog getting stuck in a doorway. Once Java is installed from the Oracle site, create a folder. Name it anything you desire. Place your Minecraft server jar in there. Now usually at this point they say to open command prompt, but fuck that. You have to do that every time you want to start the server. I am going to show you how to make a simple batch file that runs those commands every time you click it. Now open a text editor or your basic Windows text application. Check the description of this video and copy the command I provided and paste it onto the text file. Now listen closely, Spartan. Click File at the top left and click Save As. Now a new window will pop up. At the bottom, you will see what you can name the file as. Right underneath that is another line that says Save as Type. Click on Save as Type and set to All. Now name your file and type .bat at the end of the name. Doing this turns your text file into a batch file. Save it in the same folder as your server jar. Now click the bat file and you will see a command prompt come up, and it will either immediately close or say that you have to accept the ULA. Close the command prompt and open the newly generated ULA text file. Change the false to true. Save and exit. Now click the bat file again and you will see your new server files generating. It will take a moment for everything to generate, but once complete, the server will become online. Now that your basic super vanilla half-secure server is up, grab your physical IP address for the computer you are hosting this on. You can find this in your Windows network settings. Now listen, Spartan. Your physical address is different from your router's IP address. Your physical host IP can only be accessed within the network. Whereas if you want your boys to connect from outside your network, they need your router's IP. Do not give this out to just anyone. You can face some nasty security issues if you give out your router's IP, just like an elite sniffing out your location from a radio signal. Once you have your physical IP, open Minecraft and go to multiplayer. Click on Add Server and type your host computer's IP so you can connect to it yourself. You should then immediately join and you have a basic running server. Good job, Spartan. Before your friends can join, you will need to port forward the numbers 25565 and have it connect to your physical IP of your host computer. This way, when your friends type your router's IP address, they then also type 25565 after a colon. Your network will then look for any devices that have port 25565 open. Now to have plugins and a more secure and fun server, you are going to want to get a custom server jar, such as Paper, Forge, Fabric, or Purper. Now I know you have many questions, Spartan. This video hosting network has a comment interface. Type your comments below into that and I will respond as quickly as I can, as soon as I gain cover from the current Covenant attack I am under right now.
Money. It just had to come out during Barbie. Like,
Well, yeah, this movie got completely fucked.
Yeah.
Like really bad
Utterly.
in terms of.
oh, hello there.
Wow! Oh my god. JJ, what do you think of the mustache? Be honest. I'm trying to be Eddie Burback. Can you let me know if I look like him?
You gotta like tone down the whatever you call this area.
Beard.
Yeah. I feel like it's not really matching up to like how hairy the stash is. So
Well,
it's a little
because I
distracting.
want it. This is a good look.
Yeah.
Say I look good, JJ.
Yeah, you look good, man. Thanks.
Dude, say I look fucking good.
You
man.
do. Oh, I'm sorry. You look good.
Yeah, how fucking dare you, bro?
I'm sorry.
You should be.
I'm sorry.
You should be nice about it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just like you should be nice about TMNT.
Oh, I'm gonna be very nice.
Actually, while you intro the beginning, I'm gonna just look to see box office numbers.
Yeah, it's not doing that well, unfortunately. It had a budget of $70 million. And right, hey, how's it going? And why did you laugh at that? I was just saying hi to your brother.
This.
Oh, that's not even the like right suit. Like that's the wrong suit.
It looks
The suits look good in the 1990 movie.
I'm sorry, but
Or I tell myself that because I'm
yeah,
nostalgic over it.
keep going. No, JJ,
Um,
sorry.
Fuck, my train of thought. Shit.
It's not doing well.
Oh, it's not doing well.
either.
Yeah. The budget, the production budget was 70 million, and right now,
It made it
since it's
back.
come out, it's only up to I believe like 50
Oh, no,
million
here
or
it
something
is.
like that.
As
And that's not including the marketing. Like a lot, it's like, oh, they made the production value back.
no,
Never includes the marketing, and the marketing is always double that. So
yeah,
I
no.
highly doubt it's gonna get a sequel. And I think it would have done better if it just didn't come out while Barbie and but more so Barbie came out. Like,
Actually, you know what really killed it?
what's that?
And we could talk about this.
Okay.
I actually think the Meg killed it more than Barbie and Oppenheimer.
I know the Meg made more money than
That's
the
what I'm
Turtles.
saying. I think the Meg
I-
killed it.
I hate
So if
people.
you look here, the movie has made roughly as of
This
2 days
recording.
ago.
Yeah.
2 days ago, August 8th, the movie has made only $61 million worldwide.
Mhm.
And just like JJ said, if the 70 million is only
Production cost.
production costs, that means there's obviously huge marketing for this movie. There
Well,
was.
Where I checked, for some reason it doesn't show what's the word for worldwide release? International market?
International,
budget?
which is right
International.
here, 9.8 million.
Yeah, but it
other
doesn't-
territories.
It only covers like a couple countries. It didn't have China on there or anything like that, which I would assume they would be fine with since Jackie Chan's in it or whatever. I would assume that they would be okay with that. but-
It beat its expectations. It made 50 million in its first 5 days.
Yeah.
So it's beating projections,
Mhm.
which is a good thing.
I think it will eventually get to Elise's production cost, but the only thing they also fucked it over because they recently announced next month it's coming on digital, like immediately after, which that'll just ruin it
I mean,
because
it'll kill
families
it.
will be like, oh, well, we'll just wait to take the kids.
It'll 100% kill it.
Yeah,
I think it's more so losing, like, I think it's more so that the Meg is ruining this movie.
yeah. Thanks a lot.
Because I don't really,
Giant shark.
I feel like with Barbie and Oppenheimer,
Barbie was going to be successful no
Yeah,
matter what, and
Barbie,
Oppenheimer because it just had
yeah.
like such a good marketing strategy. Where at the Meg 2, like I don't.
it doesn't need
Yeah.
marketing because guess where all its money is coming from? Take a guess, JJ. Where do you think its money is coming
Scientology.
from? No. Who's like buying this movie to watch it?
Like the audience? Wait, what are you saying?
I am saying it's real money. The money that it's really coming from is
Mhm.
not the United States and Canada. It's China and other markets.
Mhm.
It is not like
Yeah, so I guess maybe Ninja Turtles didn't have a Chinese release or something like that.
it either didn't have a Chinese release or international audiences were more interested in the Meg.
The Meg.
Because to be honest, these kinds of movies, these like shitty action movies, do a really good job
Yeah.
hiring Chinese and other Asian actors
Mhm.
to draw up interest
Yeah.
in the Asian market.
Yeah.
Like it was first shown off at a Shanghai Film
Right,
Festival.
yeah.
Like its a
And-
major market is Asian and international
And-
countries.
I love Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles was my childhood, and it's a lot of people's childhood. But I feel like people are like, oh, this is just another iteration of Ninja Turtles. While it's still good, I think people might not be willing to go see it in a theater or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think the interest, unfortunately, has just gone down a little bit. Like, especially because the new show only lasted 2 seasons. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles only lasted 2 seasons. Whereas, like, every other Ninja Turtle show has lasted at least 5 or 6.
I think also, which kind of sucks in this regard, like you just had the best animated movie
Right,
to come
across
out
the Spider-Verse. Yeah.
ever, which kind of helped kickstart this like new age.
Yeah, and even the director, one of the directors, because there's two, themselves was like, yeah, we took heavy inspiration from Spider-Verse, obviously.
By the way, Sandman on the Rocks.
Yeah, finally.
And that's JJ, and this is Peter.
Yes, in case you're sucking the tip a little.
Oh,
it's foaming up. I think it's foaming up again. Chuck.
That's gonna be clipped. Oh, is it? Can you see me do that? Do I look like I'm doing it?
Oh yeah, you do look like you're sucking on pee pee. You look like.
Oh wow, like yeah, like if I did it like this, like off camera, like.
Now you just gotta what? Oh, I don't want that image in the mouth. Oh no.
That's gonna be clipped out of context. So outside of the
outside of the doom and gloom.
JJ, did you like this movie? Did you have fun? I didn't go see it because I'm a pleb and I was busy doing something else for the stream.
Yeah.
But JJ, what did you think of the show?
I really liked it. It's definitely more of a kids movie. I mean, obviously, like Spider-Verse is also for kids and stuff, but like it has more of like a mature-ish angle, whereas like this one, it's a Ninja Turtles movie, so obviously they're not going to adapt the comics where the first issue is like, hey, Shredder, we defeated you, now commit seppuku, which fucking happens in the very first issue of Ninja Turtles. Leonardo goes, okay, kill yourself now. Like,
wait, what?
That's just not going to happen. Yeah, Shredder dies within the first issue. They beat the shit out of the Foot Clan, and then Shredder challenges them. Then they beat the shit out of Shredder, and it's like, all right, Shredder, you know the ninja way, kill yourself. And then he goes, how about I blow myself up instead? And then they go, whatever, man, go for it. No, he obviously tries to blow himself up to like kill them as well. But then I forget which turtle it is because it's in black and white, and the only way you could tell the difference is by the weapon they're carrying or whatever. But one of them kicks him off the ledge and then he blows up. But then he comes back to life somehow. So
just somehow.
Yeah. Or he comes back to life because the Foot, I guess, gathered his remains and used space worms to piece them together. Because it's Ninja Turtles, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a weird concept. Yet somehow became a multi-billion-dollar industry. But this movie, I mean, the animation style is so good, and the humor is really funny. Like, it's more so funny. Than I would even say like Spider-Verse. Like it's much more like an action comedy kind of thing. Whereas like there were funny moments in Spider-Man, but it was mostly, geared toward like Miles's like journey as Spider-Man and stuff like that. And I love the art style. It just like kind of looks grotesque, but like cute at the same time. You could definitely tell like how good the animation. It is good animation, but you could tell. Obviously, this only had a $70 million budget, whereas like Spider-Verse minimum had like $100 million.
Yeah.
So obviously, it doesn't look or flow as good as that movie, but the animation is still very, very good.
What studio made this movie?
I'm not sure actually. I'm trying to think who owns. I think Paramount owns Ninja Turtles, so whatever their animation studio is. But regardless. The animation is very good. I love how the turtles aren't celebrity voices or anything like that. They're literally just kids.
Yeah, it's literally kids.
And from the behind the scenes, they said they pretty much recorded all their lines together in a booth, and you could definitely tell that. Like a lot of it was just like riffing and stuff like that from the cast, and you could definitely tell from that. And it's really just fun and cute. It's enjoyable.
It's Nickelodeon, so it's Paramount.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean the animation good. Like I love every single turtle in this one. Like usually in these movies, like one of them lacks it, but everyone had proper screen time. They actually made my least favorite turtle, aka Leonardo, because most of the time in any turtle media, like Leo's just a stoic, like I am the leader, kind of thing. But in this one, it's funny because like they're brothers, so every time he tries to like, come on guys, let's do something, and they're like, shut the fuck up. Like he said, oh look, oh he's trying to be a leader and shit. Shut up.
Hey, look at him being the leader. What a doofus.
Yeah, exactly. And they just kind of bully him, which is like really funny. And of course they do. I don't know why they always do this in Turtles media. It's never in the comics, but like Leonardo is in love with April and this, and it's like it's just kind of weird. You're a turtle. It's like with the 2012 series. Donnie was into that version of April, and then Michelangelo in the live action 1991 was in love with April. I think Raph's the only one that's just like doing his own thing, pretty much.
Raph is just the edgy boy.
Yeah.
Did we put him in our edgy tier list, right?
Yes, we did. We gave him Sharp because he rode a motorcycle, and we added pretty much that whole tier was just people motorcycles.
That's so funny.
That's how Sonic the Hedgehog, or
Oh my
sorry,
God.
Sonic. I mean Shadow the
Shadow,
Hedgehog.
you fucking loser. How dare- Did you see that TikTok I sent you of that guy who does the Shadow?
Yes,
Dude, I
the
love
different
Shadow.
side of me, and I feel like a monster. So good.
So I gotta find them. If you could like look on TikTok real quick to see. Actually, I'll look because you probably can talk about
Yeah.
this show. So can you keep talking about
Yeah.
what you like?
April's character is really good. I didn't know this. She was voiced by the girl who's on The Bear. Have you seen The Bear?
Mm-mm.
You gotta watch The Bear. It's really good. She does a great job. Jackie Chan is Master Splinter. Does really good. He's very funny. This modern like era of Ninja Turtles, at least with media, like beforehand, like Master Splinter's like, I am the master and you must obey me. But like now he's just kind of a goofball, and I kind of like that. He's just like in this version, how the turtles like oh, you got a call coming up. It's not showing up on stream, but oh, a call.
Thank God.
New Overwatch grind. You make stellar friends.
Yeah.
But like I like how he trains. So like in some of the media, it's like, oh, they're descendants of samurai warriors that are now like what's the word, reincarnations of those, but now they're Ninja Turtles or something like that. Or Master Splinter studied it from a book, or Master Splinter studied it from Oroku, or not Oroku Saki, that's Shredder, or Master Splinter's like owner, who was like a kung fu master. He studied off of him. In this one, it's like basically like Bruce Lee movies and Jackie Chan movies, and stuff like that. Like they watch those movies and copy the moves, and just like like 90s VHS like study guides on how to be a ninja master, which I thought was cute. Yeah, like it's just it's a pretty funny and entertaining movie, and they don't mention a foot at all. It's just all about mutants and stuff like that, which I really appreciate, because we already have like like every show is centered on the foot and stuff like that. And while Shredder's the best villain, obviously, but like I just kind of appreciated this new approach with a lot of like the early 80s action figures, because like they were like, we need more figures. How about we have a bug that just throws up? How about that? That's his action, is he throws up. No, his name is like Blob or something like that. I don't know. If you keep clicking through, I'm sure you'll find it.
Oh dude, yeah.
Super.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
He's
kind of a deadbeat. Yeah. He's cool. But yeah, I loved all the mutants and stuff like that. And it does like a bait and switch kind of thing. Like the minions of the film like kind of have a change of heart and stuff like that. Overall, it's really good. The animation's great. This is probably my second favorite Turtles movie. Not that there's a ton of competition. Basically, first one, the original 1990 one. That one's great. And then after that, this one, and then after that, the 2007 animated one that also didn't make a lot.
No, but that one was also really good.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
I saw a clip about it.
It was
Damn,
good.
I remember that shit.
Like the main plot is kind of meh, but it just has the best Raph and Leo fight in any Ninja Turtles thing ever.
Yeah.
Like it's just like perfection. But yeah, no, it's really enjoyable. My girlfriend liked it. We got to see it with a bunch of 10-year-olds. They seem to like it.
So, what
Yeah.
are your thoughts on the baby turtles?
They were cute. They were fine. They didn't overstay their welcome,
They were
like
cute.
baby Yoda or some shit, or baby Groot. Like they just showed up in a flashback scene and then that was it. But I love the art style. The art style is so fucking good, and the art direction is great. All the celebrity voices aren't too distracting. Besides Bebop, played by Seth Rogen, which Seth Rogen's voice acting career is just, hey, I'm Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I am Seth Rogen.
Now I'm Pumbaa and Seth Rogen. Now I'm Donkey Kong, but I'm also Seth Rogen.
So is Shredder in this movie?
So I guess spoilers, but it probably won't have a sequel the way the box office is going, unless if it has like a really good digital or Blu-ray income coming in. Which
I guarantee this movie. I guarantee if anything this movie is going to accomplish is the toys are going to sell really well.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's how Ninja Turtles make the majority of their money either way. So, but basically at the end, the main evil lady who like wants to gather up mutagen for biological weapons and stuff like that. So she tries to like drain the turtles of their mutagen so they can like do that process over again, but instead make them mindless drones. She's like, "All right, bring in the Shredder," and then you could just see Shredder, like a silhouette of him, like off the coast of New York, being like, "I'm gonna fucking fuck shit up," but might or might not happen. That's the problem when you tease something like that might not have a sequel. Then everyone's like, "Well, when is it coming?" And maybe not, unless the toy sales do really good.
All right, so this is the guy that we were talking about before.
I'm hot. I got it.
This is not me making fun of this guy. I just think his videos
are really entertaining.
Fantastic. It's so good. Like, look at him just.
He's got the cinematography down.
Like, he's really, like, that's the thing. Like, that's why I'm saying it's like, it's not funny. Like, it's not I'm laughing at it. I'm laughing with it.
You know what I like the most?
How good he does it.
The Sonic clock like that.
Dude, he's got so much Sonic shit. Got a Sonic calendar. He's got a
Sonic poster.
Got his Sonic posters in the background. By the way, XQC, you should be taking some notes. This is how you react to a video.
Oh my god!
Like he's got such a like look at him. He's so happy. He's like I'm Shadow Hedgehog. Yeah. Dude, he's such a these are such.
Someone says spit goes hard, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Dude, it works so well. It is his shadow.
Tough.
I see this image here. I see this, and I'm like, yeah.
I love how people are literally like complimenting him, and people like adding suggestions like, let's get him in some gold bracelets and ankle pins.
For real. Yeah. Why is his quality better than before? Like for real. Like the quality of it isn't bad. Because like look at that camera work again. Like
it's low key hard. I love it.
Like you're like, yeah, these shoes, I gotta put these shoes on. Yeah, don't you fucking worry about it, pal. Oh yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog always wins.
I need a motorcycle and a gun. Man cave.
And I like
what's this man cave in the background?
That is awesome. This is so good.
That is amazing.
I definitely recommend this guy.
Yeah.
Christopher King 40.
No, he's awesome.
Dude. He has like look at all these Sonic bro, when I think of Sonic, I think of this guy.
Yeah.
Like there's no one else. And
if he's not in Sonic 3, we riot in the streets.
Actually, like straight up, if he doesn't get the right amount of clout to get to be in Sonic 3, then like I'm never gonna see the movie.
Right.
Like ever.
If I know he's in it for 5 seconds, I'm there.
Yeah. For real. So
with that tangent aside.
Dude, love this guy.
Overall, the Ninja Turtle movies was awesome. I really enjoyed it. It's nice and short, which I appreciate.
How long is it on time?
1 hour and 39 minutes. which is
Oh,
perfect.
Why haven't I watched this? That's like perfect for me.
I know.
I hate long
with your
movies.
like TikTok brain.
Yeah.
You have such
It's not
TikTok
like a
brain.
TikTok brain. It's more
No,
just like
you definitely
because
have
I could
TikTok
fucking
brain.
play video games for hours and I could read a book or watch or read manga for hours. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not TikTok brain. It's more just I don't have time to sit in a movie theater anymore for 3 hours.
Sure, man.
Because like I watched movies like crazy on my plane when I was away. I don't think we talked about
The
that.
way Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer.
No,
that's
you
the
laugh.
way he
You
fucking
laugh.
wanted it.
You
Yeah.
laugh. I watched Fablemans on the plane.
I need to see that movie. I haven't seen it. I heard it's really fucking good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good, especially if you watch it on a plane where it was definitely made to be
Yeah.
shown the plane
Yeah.
experience.
Right. Yeah. That's what we're always. I watch Dune. I get on a plane. I pay like $500 for a flight and then watch Dune.
I actually thought it would be a really funny idea to make a YouTube channel where it centers around just me reviewing on-flight entertainment movies.
That means you would have to get on the airplane a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I'd literally just
You
be
would have to
flying
spend a lot of
every
money.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the money will come back because of how novel the idea is.
Well, you have to get the money first in order to do that. You can't just like go on a whim and do it and then like get no
AJ,
money.
you start in the negatives and then you reach the positives. Okay,
Okay.
It's called
Right.
if you want to make money, you gotta spend a little money. Okay,
Right.
and even if that little money amounts to like $10,000-$15,000, look, I'll get a fucking loan and I'll do it. All right.
Wolf of Wall Street over here. Just going over the Turtles characters, I really like. I mean, I already talked about Leo. Raph is just a hothead. Like he's like, I love violence, and he really leans into it. And one, so this dude tries to punch him, and he decks him in the face, and he turns around and spits on him. I'm like, whoa, Raph, chill.
Because he's edgy, bro.
Yeah, and
He's
then
literally that's why he's
he
in
is
our
edgelord.
edge tier.
He didn't ride a motorcycle in this one. Though.
Oh, then he's.
He did ride a skateboard though. So
what were our tiers? Because you said you just recently.
There was Butter Knife, which was like not as sharp. So he had like Axel from Kingdom Hearts, the bottom. I think Pointy was like the next tier, which we had like Vegeta in because our argument was like he gets bodied too many times.
Yeah.
Then Sharp, which Raph was in. Piercing, I think, was the next one, and then Edgelord was the final one. I'm pretty sure if I remember that correctly.
What about Mikey and Donnie?
Michael was very funny. Michelangelo was really funny. He had some good jokes in there, and Donnie is just like your typical like anime nerd. Like he references fucking Attack on Titan 3 times in the movie, and on his stick he has a Gojo sticker on there. like he's a proper like anime nerd. Like he even does like, oh, we gotta defeat this monster by attacking the back of the neck like Attack on Titan. He even does do like the Sageo thing. I'm like, let's fucking go.
I'm shocked that it's in the movie. Actually,
I guess
Japanese,
yeah,
Japanese copyright holders
right.
are so stingy on that.
I think they might have been sneaky with it though. But yeah, and he like acts like an anime high school nerd, but not an obnoxious one.
It's like you, right? You know.
Yes, just like me.
Yeah,
where I got
like
bullied for saying Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is better than Tokyo Ghoul.
Dude, yeah, because you're a fucking idiot, bro. Are you kidding?
Yo, Tokyo Ghoul is obviously better.
Yeah, the main theme of Tokyo Ghoul.
Not and they're like, go cry about a little girl and a dog. I mean, like, you leave them out of this.
Yeah, dude, my protagonist has a mouth on his hand. What does your protagonist have? A metal hand, motherfucking
He like
loser.
eats people. Like,
wow,
obviously better.
What does Edward Elric do? Save people?
Unironically, I went through that phase in high school where like that's why Spawn is still my guilty pleasure. I was really into Spawn. I'm like, Spawn is just so fucking badass because he's got magic. He's killed God and the devil. What does Superman do? I believe it or not, I was an anti-Superman fan for a little bit, and
I believe it. I
wised up and grew up.
Yeah, you became a big boy.
I became a man. I'm like, wait, can we
relax?
Can we show that clip or no of the Superman fan film? There's no way we're gonna get copyrighted.
Probably could,
or we'll just explain it or whatever. But Basically, there's this. I think we covered it on a stream a while back.
We did. We
like a
covered
while back.
it, not on a stream, but on a video.
I think it was called like something like Sounds of Freedom, like Superman Sound of Freedom or something like that. But basically, so for context, this person is trying to unalive himself in Minecraft, and this is Superman's response.
But if you believe, without a doubt, that tomorrow and the day after and so forth will never be any better, but always worse, then, against every fiber in my being, I will move out of the way.
What? No, Superman, you idiot! Why are you saying? Why would you say that?
Scene in The Boys where the girl's about to do the same thing, and then Homelander's like, "You better do it, or else I'm gonna push you off." Like that's literally like pretty much that scene.
He literally just said, "Dude, if you don't fuck with my vibe, I'll move out of the way."
Yeah, I'll move out of the way, bro.
Little bit OOC, but have to post this.
Oh, there's plenty of other posts too. Like there's a really bad Brainiac versus Superman fight. Like the green screen, like it breaks the 180 rule like 5,000 times. Oh, I think did I send you that one where it teases Batman, where it's gonna tease racist Batman? Because basically, why we're saying it like that is because a lot of the crew members are Trump supporters and stuff. So, and it comes out of that. Like, there's one clip of Lois Lane being like, "Your typical liberal reporter" kind of thing, and Superman goes, "I'm politically neutral." And if you know anything about Superman, he is not politically neutral. He's very much a lefty. Yeah, that's the fight. Coast City, that's a Green Lantern reference. I'm so glad I'm represented in this shitty fucking racist Superman movie.
Dude,
yeah,
this is hype. I would watch this.
We should. If it ever comes out, we should watch it on stream.
I won't be a pawn in politics
hilarious.
or a tool for anyone's agenda. I'm here to do what's right.
And who defines what is right?
Well, I do, Miss Lane.
Oh, so you're a dictator.
I do.
So you're a dictator.
I'm in charge.
Also, you love how if you...
I love drinking the teat of my lover.
If you go back, you can hear a car beep in the background, someone unlocking their car.
They're going to have you end our wars and meet with our politicians.
I won't be a pawn in politics or a tool for anyone's agenda. I'm here to do what's right.
And who defines...
Dude, this is so bad.
No, I love it though.
This is so
and like
bad.
you see him all buttoned up and stuff, and he still has the suit underneath it. He just looks like one of those like fake Power Rangers. Yeah, that's how.
Damn. Dude, it looks so bad.
Oh my
Bro,
god.
that literally looks so goofy.
Oh yeah, here you go. He rips it off. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was so cool. Bro.
It's amazing.
Now this is how you stream like XQC. Bro.
I didn't like that clip. I didn't like it. I thought it was shit. Bro.
I actually gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah, I gotta use the bathroom for like 10 minutes. Yeah, let's go use the bathroom.
He's just a nice guy in a costume.
But he's saving people from burning buildings. He's stopping car accidents.
Let's see how many people are watching this.
No
No one?
Cool.
Yeah, we definitely are true commentators in the Twitch and live streaming space.
Yeah. Wait, so you're allowed to download Twitter videos on desktop, but not on phone? Or is that like an extension?
I think it's my extension that I have.
Oh, okay. That's actually useful. Because Twitter should really implement that, even though their video players absolutely.
Dude, it's not called Twitter, you fucking
Oh,
idiot.
sorry,
It's called
X.
God.
My bad.
If you're gonna be a Twitch streamer, you should at least know the right names for these things, bro.
But anyways, Ninja Turtles, please go see it in theaters. Support it. There's so many people that are like, "Oh, we need to support animated movies," and then don't go see animated movies. It's the same with DC fans. Like, can't wait for Blue Beetle. I guarantee you that shit is gonna bomb like nothing else. I'll eat my own toes if that shit makes a profit.
No, I mean, I doubt it's gonna make a profit,
Yeah.
dude. It's gonna make no money. Are you kidding me? That shit's making $0 buckaroonies. All right. Let's get into the meat potatoes, bro.
All right. So
Berserk.
obviously we're going to talk about Berserk, which was inspired by Shadow the Hedgehog.
Which was inspired by me texting JJ like 2 weeks ago saying, hey, man,
I'm almost caught up.
I'm
And I was
almost
like,
caught
no.
up. And you were like, no, that's not fair. I should be ahead of you because I told you to read Berserk.
No.
I gotta be
It wasn't
better.
that. It was because I started it first. And then, like,
And you
you
were like-
decided to start a week ago. I'm like, I'm not going to let this motherfucker, like, because I do this all the time. I recommend something to Markeith. Then he watches ahead of me. I'm like, wait, I'm not there yet. And he's like, but you recommend, like, that's what happened in Vinland Saga. Like, damn, I kind of also.
Wait.
I'm keeping it. Except for the Soul Eater.
Dude, look at
tattoo.
my arm right here, bro. Look at my arm right here, bro. It's all right.
I'm smooth as a fire shade right now.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? We're
Hey.
smooth, man.
If you were to, in Minecraft, try to step off of a cliff, I wouldn't stop you because my morals.
Your vibes are off.
Yeah, your vibe. The vibe is off.
So we're gonna talk about Berserk.
Yeah.
Speaking of other edgelords, like
Which we talked a little bit about last week, but no spoilers. This one, going full tilt with it. Just spoilers fucking galore.
Yeah,
So if you
so-
want to experience the story, which you definitely should,
Even though
Off
the
and off.
series is like 30, 40 years old,
started in
80s,
98.
98,
Or, sorry, 89.
89. So yeah, that's a little over, that's so like 32 years,
Yeah.
30, 31, 32 years. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So it's old, bro. So get on it, you dumbass. But
Yeah.
if you haven't, then
It's
I don't know.
I hate to hype stuff up. You know me, I tend to downplay a lot, but and I'm just not even talking just from a manga perspective, but like this is one of the greatest I don't want to say stories, that's pretentious, but greatest fantasy thing. Like I love grimdark fantasy and stuff, and like Berserk is probably in the upper, I would say like top 3. Like just in general.
You know what inspired me to read Berserk?
At an airport where like anyone can look at you and be
Well,
like, "Hey, is that
Dude, I was at an
is that a sexual assault force?"
I was at an airport at like 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was there from 8:30, 9:00 to 7:00 in the morning. 8:30 at night to 7
Oh
in the
shit!
morning.
Oh yeah, damn.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be by myself at the airport
Yeah,
with my
right,
girlfriend.
right.
While she was sleeping, I was reading, and
Mhm.
while I was sleeping, she was reading.
Yeah,
Not Berserk. She was not reading Berserk. She was reading an actual book.
she's gonna be. She was gonna read Nana, right? Is that
Nada.
the- yeah, Nada. Yeah.
Nada.
Which that one's not complete either, right? I don't believe that one's complete.
No. You're talking about the manga. She actually read a book called Nada.
Oh. Oh.
Like she read a Spanish, like,
Was it in
Uh,
Spanish?
yeah,
Oh, cool.
because it was written by a Spanish author.
Well, translations exist.
No, I know, but she speaks Spanish and she's a Spanish teacher.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oops.
Yeah, I've definitely told you she's a Spanish teacher.
Yeah.
You just don't care.
No, I do care. No, don't put that out there. Don't put that energy out there. That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
So yeah,
I just forget everything.
so I started reading this mainly due to the fact that Final Fantasy 16 came out, and that is also like a quote unquote dark fantasy story.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I can't play Final Fantasy 16, so I guess I'll read Berserk.
Let me tell you, it's probably the better choice. Even though I love Final Fantasy 16, or I really liked it, Berserk is so good.
Unfortunately, I had to become a scurvy little scallywag, and that's how I read Berserk.
Yeah.
I know that JJ owns, I think, all the
The hard-
volumes.
All the volumes, yeah. And volume 14 of the deluxe editions, which are like 3-in-1 mangas, it's going to have volume 40 and 41, and then just the handbook, basically. Or not the handbook, the hand guide. The guidebook, basically, which is
Mhm.
like goes over like the world, details about the characters and stuff like that. It is unknown whether with the new chapters, once that volume comes out, if they will continue the deluxe editions with that. I would assume they would, because those deluxe editions make them Dark Horse a lot of money. So they'd be stupid not to. But as far as we know, Volume 14 of the deluxe editions will be the final one. And they're just like the paper, like
I've seen
you
them. They look
have to
sick.
read Berserk in that like size. Like that size of panels is just so good and so detailed. You don't have to worry about like scan digitizing, which like kind of takes away from the art. Like seeing it in your hand is just it's gorgeous. I'm sure some of the scans are
They-
really good, but like from the recent chapters that I read, like they were like shit.
I won't show the stream, but I'll
Yeah.
show you. Like, it looks like dog shit. Like
Yes.
some of these scans.
Yeah.
That these, especially the early chapters.
Yeah, and the early chapters, the way they translate is like they had like fuck in every other sentence. I'm like that
Dude.
that wasn't fucking there. And I think in some translations, it's not the Band of the Hawk, it's Band of the Falcon, which is incorrect.
Yeah. Look at how bad this looks.
Yeah. No, it's
And
bad.
then,
It's
like-
all muddied.
And then like the translations look really stupid.
Yeah. That's why I just could not read it digital. I was like, I have to buy the deluxes. And because I have the income for it, you know.
It just looks really bad. I want to find like a really bad chapter. Because there's a chapter that I was like, dude,
Some of the recent ones were bad. Like when they're going through Casa's mind, I had to read some of that.
see, this is specifically called low quality. Look at how bad. this
Yeah,
thing
that's
is, bro.
basically, yeah.
Oh my god! I
Like the
couldn't-
blacks are just like
Look,
blending
I
into
could
everything.
not read this.
Yeah.
That's why like I stopped. Like I tried reading it like a
Mhm.
very long time ago,
I had to stop.
and then I just had to stop. But the most recent chapters, obviously the ones that I found after being a little scallywag,
Oh, those are pretty decent.
look
actually.
really, really fucking good.
Yeah.
Look really.
Those scans were
fucking good.
probably from like the early 2000s.
Oh, those were super old scans, and then these
Yeah.
ones are obviously up to date.
Mhm.
And they look.
They look really good.
It was worth reading through all the crappy, low quality chapters because then I got to the good, high quality
So
chapters.
how do we want to start this? Do we want to give overalls or do we want to
So I thought,
characters?
I actually thought, let's do shit. Didn't end the stream, but it just ended me seeing it
That's
on our
so
dashboard.
sick.
I always do that.
That's awesome, dude. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thanks, man. There it is.
Way to
So
run the stream like shit.
I actually have it where we are going to start with each arc, not chronologically in terms of release date, but chronologically in
order.
the story.
Okay.
The Golden Age arc is chronologically the first part of the story.
Yeah.
The
And
first the chapter 0.1 through.
so basically
1.
what happened with the Black Swordsman arc is that came out on a different magazine.
Mhm.
So those first 8 chapters aren't counted in the official chapter count.
Yeah.
Although they are canonical.
Yeah.
So basically what happened was Miura, I believe is how you say it. He had a general idea if he wanted Berserk to be, but the Black Swordsman arc was just trying to test it out, and that's why Guts is like very fucking unlikable. And, like,
Dude, the first chapter is
Like,
him
I was
owning
like-
a demon.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, that's not unlikable. That demon was pretty hot. I'm assuming if it was consensual.
Technically speaking, no, because the demon tried to kill him.
Well, he didn't
And then
consent
he
to
kills him.
Berserk murdering. Like the demon didn't consent to being murdered. But basically, Guts is just an asshole. He's just fucking sucks. And like as I'm not saying like, oh, but it sucks in general. But the Black Swordsman arc, which we'll get into after this, is like the worst arc. It just kind of sucks. It's 8, and it's like
Those first chapters were not good.
yeah, and the art it's very early on, so like obviously it's not to the like Fantasia artwork, which is just like whoa. But it's not. It's like okay, and that's why I was like, why are people like hyping these up so much? You know, that's why I kept like breaking from Berserk. Was like, this is just like kind of I don't know, man. But you get through it, and then you get to, in my opinion, and in everyone's general opinion, the Golden Age arc, which is the best arc in the series. It really is.
Yeah.
There's some debate. You could go
so-
Conviction arc because they have the Lost Children storyline, which people seem to like a lot. Which we'll eventually get into that. But Golden Ages is awesome. The artwork is great, and you get to really see how Guts, because like the author could have just been like, those 8 chapters are non-canonical. He's not actually an asshole. But he actually spends up to 9 volumes, I think, or something like that. 3 to 14. So what is that math?
9 or 11 volumes.
11 volumes just explaining why Guts is the way he is. And then in Conviction arc, he could have like retooled his character a bit. He's pretty much Black Swordsman. But like now you understand why he's the way he is. And it's just like one of the most joyous and miserable arcs I've ever read with like the tone. You know what I mean?
It starts off really like it's definitely one of those like it feels very much like very happy
Yeah.
and very aspiring, especially like it starts off with Guts being kind of like
Mhm.
this child that like is a curse because he was like
He was
dead
born out of a
fetus,
corpse.
dude.
Yeah.
He was a dead fetus.
Out of a hanging tree, which his lineage in the theories is like, oh, maybe he was from royalty and stuff like that, and that was a royal family that died. But again, with Berserk, I love this. It drip feeds you information. It doesn't like outright say everything. It like leaves up into interpretation.
Oh my God.
And then it's like
Does it so
revealed
much.
way later on. It's like One Piece in a way. But less tearing down governments and more miserable eclipses.
So like there's this really like dark opening to Guts' story where he has to be part of like kind of in a very similar way to like Vinland Saga where he has to
Mhm.
live with these band of mercenaries, and eventually unlike Vinland Saga,
Mhm.
the band of mercenaries in Berserk,
They don't really
Turn-
take kindly to it.
they hate him.
Yeah.
They hate him. And
And one
the
of them
guy who is his father figure
Yeah.
turns on him because he allows like one of the members to assault Guts.
Yeah.
And then he tries to kill Guts because
And if that was just done just for shock value, we would have criticized it. But it comes into play later on in Golden Age, which we'll get to.
it comes into play
or even in his
throughout his entire life
because someone
He
tries to
doesn't-
touch him and
he
he
doesn't
goes
let
off.
anyone touch him.
Yeah.
And like a lot of things in these opening chapters, like
Mhm.
and after that event, he always sleeps with his sword.
Yes. Yep.
And in the later chapters, he's like, it's been such a long time that like to sleep peacefully
Mhm.
without having to be with his sword.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So that is it.
Character growth.
Unfortunately, just like Sansa said,
Yeah.
if I could do it again, I would.
Yeah.
No, but essentially, like it is important to his character.
Mhm.
But eventually, he goes.
It's a way to
out-
do that kind of storyline right, because a lot of fantasy, I've read a lot of fantasy where it's just definitely for shock value
Mhm.
and just so like the female protagonist can get her revenge and stuff. And that's great, she's getting her revenge and all, but it feels like a character in the fridge moment, that being a reference to actually Green Lantern comic where the writers ran out of ideas, so they just killed the girlfriend and had her shove her body into a fridge, and then that misogyny was used to motivate Green Lantern's character and stuff like that. So like when you hear character in the fridge, that's what it's referred to. Like, and a lot of like those SA moments are like that. It's like, well, now this is my whole defining character. Whereas like
Mhm.
Guts has so much more to it. It's just a part of his character and a part of his history, which is done really well. But yeah, eventually he accidentally kill the father figure, or does he?
Well, the father's trying to kill him.
It's been a while since
So,
I read Golden Age.
The father tries to kill him, so like Guts just puts his sword out, and the
Yeah.
father kind of runs into it,
Gotcha. Okay.
and then Guts just runs away.
Yeah.
He gets shot. He falls down a cliff, and he has to fight. Like he wakes up. He's tired. He's lost a lot of blood. He has an
Yeah.
arrow in him. A bunch of wolves try to kill him.
Mhm.
He murders the wolves, and then he just kind of goes on his way.
Yep.
And then the next chapter shows up with him on a battlefield,
Mhm.
and lo and behold, he's fighting.
He's
in
like a
com-
single mercenary. He's like does
He's-
odd jobs,
yeah.
stuff like that.
and he's in a fight with he's in a fight with a legendary mercenary, and he kills the mercenary. And guess who's watching him in the crowd?
Ooh,
Our boy, Griffey Poo.
he's not my boy.
Dude,
He's not my boy.
so Griffith is watching him in the background, and it's
Mhm.
kind of like, who is this? And because they're fighting on opposing sides of one
It
another,
piques his
in this
interest,
battle.
but he doesn't
Do anything about it.
he doesn't do anything about it until Guts makes his merry way over to I forget where he's going.
He's
I
going
think
to
he's
his
just
next
going,
job.
and then
Going to his next job,
he gets in a scuffle with the Band of Hawk, some of the members of Band of Hawk,
and he kills a couple of them.
kills a couple of them. Cass is pissed, so she tries to intervene.
and
he-
Guts almost kills her.
And then Griffith is
comes
like,
in.
"Hey, buddy, pal of mine, if you defeat me, you can go on your merry way. But if I defeat you in a sword fight,
So
then you have to join."
So Griffith fights him,
Yeah.
beats him so badly that that Guts gets unconscious.
Okay.
Guts wakes up 2 days later.
Oh.
Guts wakes up 2 days later. He's going to leave,
Mhm.
and Griffith says that,
Yeah.
look, if you can fight me, you
Yeah.
win, you can leave.
And that's
if
where
I
he stands
beat
on his
you,
sword, right?
You are mine.
That's like the iconic imagery of like Guts going to stab, and he's just standing on his sword, like.
Yeah. Yeah, and he beats Guts,
Yeah.
and now Guts joins the Band of
And
Hawks.
basically, we can't go too long on every arc, although this is the best arc. Basically, Guts, he's had a traumatic childhood, and he's never found a place for his own or a place to call family. And he like keeps trying to like in the early chapters distance himself from the Band of Hawk and stuff, but like Rickert and Casa and stuff like that, like really try to like
Rickard, Casa, Jova.
Jova.
I forget his name. It's not Jova, but
Yeah.
this guy.
Again, we're reading this stuff, so I don't know the exact pronunciations, and I haven't watched the movies or that god awful anime. But basically, they're just like, "Come on, man! Like, come join." And he's just trying to distance himself because he's afraid of getting hurt. But eventually, throughout this arc, like he grows closer and closer to them, and especially to Casa when they get ambushed. And it's just him and Casa, and she's very much infatuated and in love with Griffith, both as a leader, a friend, and potential lover. And it's very apparent early on she's jealous of Guts because Griffith starts showing Guts more attention and stuff, because Guts is like pretty much his like right hand man.
Guts and Griffith are best friends.
Yes.
They are best friends
Yeah.
because Guts believes in Griffith's cause.
Mhm.
And I think that's what makes the tragedy of this arc so perfect,
Mhm.
because like they do so much for Griffith.
Yes.
For Griffith to just say, my dream is more important than my friends.
Yep.
And cast them aside to die.
Yep. But the like Cass and Guts like relationship in that is like just so like, because they're both on edge, they don't really like each other, and then before he becomes a Black Storm, he's called the 100-man warrior or something like
He
that.
kills 100 men.
He kills 100 men
To save
single-handedly.
Casca.
Yeah.
Because
Because eventually the Band of Hawk come in and try to rescue him. He's already taken out everyone, and then he passes out from his injuries and stuff like that. And then Casa and Guts grow a closer fondness together, and they go on other adventures and stuff like that up until they reach his castle, the kingdom. I forget the kingdom's name. With the creepy dad and the soon-to-be queen. What's her face? The little girl.
Princess Charlotte.
Yeah, Princess Charlotte. Basically, Griffith is like, okay, getting buddy with this kingdom is my way of gaining power, and like maybe if I, marry off the princess, I could eventually become queen, essentially, or king, not queen. Although he looks very feminine. And then he's out on the balcony one night while I believe there's like a party going on. I believe that's the party scene. And Griffith essentially says stuff like, none of my Band of Hawk really matter. Like, all that matters, this is where we get to like, all that matters is my dream. And, basically like, my dream is more important than anyone else. I don't even see Guts as friends. I have no friends, essentially, is what he says. Which can be interpreted and he actually means that, or he's just saying that to the queen to make her, or sorry, to the princess to make her seem like all in for you.
I think at that point
Mhm.
in the story, he's just saying it.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
think he believes that.
Right.
Because he truly, like, he literally will not leave a single member of the main group, you know,
Mhm.
like the characters we actually learn their fucking names of,
Yeah.
behind, right? He will constantly be there for them. And of
Mhm.
course, he will always be there for Guts.
Mhm.
And he trusts Guts wholeheartedly. That's why he makes Guts, like, do, like, an assassination.
Yeah. And
Right?
that happened beforehand,
Yeah.
before that balcony scene, which is very
So-
important.
So he definitely has love for his crew.
Yeah.
I think when he loses Guts, when Guts leaves,
Yeah.
he loses that love
Yeah.
for his friends, because he realizes in that moment
For-
that no matter how good his dream is,
Mhm.
he can lose his friends at like the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Because they are their own people.
Mhm.
And he doesn't want that. He wants the fucking world after that.
Yes.
Which is why, like, he does such a stupid thing
Which,
and
like,
boinks the princess.
yeah. Which basically the context. So with the assassination, basically Griffith had known there were like political figures trying to go after him and stuff, and he
But he's
knew
a
that,
commoner rising up in
Yeah.
the ranks faster.
and
than
they don't
anyone
like that.
could.
So Griffith tricks them. I don't want to get into too much detail. He kills them, basically all of them, but he goes to assassinate one of the members. But Guts kills one of the members, and then all of a sudden he hears a door open,
And he kills
and
the
he
son.
kills a kid. And it's one of the most brutal. Like, this is the only thing that the movies get right. It's the most brutal thing because, like, Guts stabs him, then the kid is like reaching out for life, and like Guts goes to hold his hand, and then it's already too late. And they actually depict that in the movies, where they usually like shy away from that stuff.
Honestly, I think
Oh.
that's what makes Guts' his character very.
And after that, he's just traumatized. Like, he's not talking to anyone. They're like, Guts, what's going on? What's happening? And he's just like,
don't worry about it.
he's like, I'm done.
And he
Done.
hears, after that whole thing, he hears Griffith talking to the queen
Mhm.
about like Griffith being like, I don't respect any man
Yeah.
who has no aspirations for himself.
Right. Yeah.
That to me is a true friend, somebody who
Mhm.
has his own dreams and admirations, which is kind of
Yeah.
why Griffith
Yeah.
like loses Guts.
Guts to that point, he's like, all I have is this band of Hawk and Griffith. And hearing that,
He's
after
like,
a
"Well, I
while,
have nothing.
I think they have a couple more adventures after that.
Oh no, they do.
Yeah,
For a
they
long
fight Zod, which is like, it's the first moment in the series where it's like, oh, this is some new supernatural shit, and like Zod is a apostle, and he's like a beast. He's a monster. At first, he comes out with his human form, then his iconic like Minotaur wing
demon
form.
form, right?
Yeah, that
right back
guy.
here.
And they just like, and Zod is actually, he likes Guts because he's like, finally, like someone that I can actually like. There's a
Enjoy
challenge.
fighting.
He's like, I
even
know
though it's not a fucking.
I'm definitely gonna kill you, but thanks for the challenge, kind of thing.
Thanks for making me work a sweat a little bit.
But then he sees the bailiff, right? The little
yeah, he sees the bailiff on.
and he's like, oh, what the fuck?
on
I'm out of
Griffith.
here.
He's like, oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna let this shit rock.
yeah.
He's literally like the future devil. He's like the future devil. He's like, I know it's gonna happen.
Adios. And there's
I'm gonna
even
let
like
it rock.
throughout the series, like apostles and demons are like, when the eclipse happens.
Whenever they see Griffith and his little fucking necklace,
Yeah.
with the fucking little,
They're like, let's go.
they're like, I wouldn't trust that guy.
yeah.
And they're like, we want him to do what he's doing,
yeah.
but I'm gonna tell you right now,
And Guts is like,
I wouldn't trust a fucking thing he does.
Guts is like, Guts, why do you trust Griffith so much? And he just goes, we had a bath fight, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, we
got
he was
naked.
naked.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
And the most heterosexual
And like,
bath fight I've ever
so
seen.
yeah, he has this crimson
Yeah.
bailiff, which means like he's gonna become like a god hand.
Yeah.
So let's just jump into it so we can go to the next arc.
Okay.
The eclipse happens.
The eclipse happens.
So the reason what happens is Griffith
He
Once
eventually
the-
gets captured.
boinks the queen, boinks the princess, pisses off the king. The king tortures him for a year
Because the king is like incestually fascinated
by
in
his daughter. Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's not into
In
that,
Minecraft.
obviously. And so he captures Griffith and brands the entire band of the Falcon
Yeah.
as criminals, and they're for a year.
Mhm.
He's torturing Griffith,
And this is literally the day after Guts leaves Griffith.
yeah. So Guts is like, look, I want to find my own path. So
Yeah.
they do the exact same thing they did at the beginning,
Mhm.
where they fight each other,
And he defeats
Guts
Griffith
wins.
in one swing. And
Yeah.
Griffith is just like crumbles and shatters.
Yeah,
just like,
and he's literally like a child about it. Like
Yeah.
he turns into a child.
Mhm.
This stoic character you've seen throughout the entire series, who's so strategic and so mature and intelligent, crumbles and acts like a child.
And then,
because his best friend, or maybe at that point he feels Guts as his best tool.
he's normally very strategic, but like immediately after he's like, now I'm officially boinking the princess. And after that, that's when the King's Guard is like, oh, you mother.
So yeah,
Yeah.
bunch of bad shit happens to the Band of the Falcon.
Yeah.
Gus doesn't know about it. He comes back out of nowhere because I guess like they just meet. They meet up.
Yeah,
again.
they eventually meet and they're like, oh, we got to go save Griffith. And Cass is like trying to hold everything together. And like Guts, eventually they sleep together. And it's not like a gratuitous, like, oh, it's this hot sex scene. It's like a character, like, it's one of the best sex scenes I've ever seen. It's like a character
How
moment.
many of those have you seen, JJ?
In books a lot. Actually, a really good like First Law trilogy. Greatest depiction of sex
That
ever.
is such a funny thing to say.
What?
It's the best sex scene I've ever seen.
No, because
one of the best.
you know, a lot of movies and books are just like, and then he took me.
Damn, man, you should
like,
really watch Bridgerton. That's all I'm saying.
Bridgerton sucks ass.
Have you read it or watched it?
No,
Then how do you know it sucks ass?
I don't know. I don't care.
I'm making a video on it soon, maybe. But
I'm making a video on Love Island and why it's the greatest romantic.
that's such a good
No.
idea.
Yeah.
That's such a good idea.
It's
actually.
really bad.
Um, but Griffith does his stupid shit, ruins everything. Guts comes back, sleeps with Casca. They'll go on a rescue mission to go save Griffith. Griffith is literally a husk of who he was.
Yeah.
Can't talk, can't move.
Mhm.
All his skin is gone. His
Yeah.
pee-pee's gone. Everything's gone. He is
And
literally not Griffith anymore.
My
He's
favorite
just
moment
a
is like
dude.
he sees Guts and immediately he goes for his neck. Like immediately in that panel, he just like goes like,
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Does he?
yeah, it's like this. That's what I'm talking about. The smallest details. He's like, he looks at him wide eyes, and then he like goes and Guts like, what the fuck was that about? But then they have no time because they're trying to escape this
Yeah.
fortress.
So it's very clear that
Yeah.
Griffith mind is fucking broken
Yeah.
from a year of being tortured.
Mhm.
He hates Guts probably at this point.
Yeah. And he sees like after that, after the escape and stuff, all he looks at is Guts and Casa. That's the only thing he looks at. He's just like constantly looking at him and stuff and seeing obviously there's a relationship there. And then Casa's taking care of his wounds one day and he goes on top of her to like in a last ditch effort of being like because Griffith is all about control and all that control is taken away from him. And like even he's probably overhearing the band of Hawks talking like, man, I don't because they're like, I don't know, should we stick around? Like, what do we do? And Cass is still like
Griffith looks
up
like
in
a
the air
fucking
about it.
wreck, dude.
Guts
Cass
wants
is
to
not
leave,
good.
but like Cass
Guts
still wants to stay.
Guts still is gonna fucking leave after
Yeah.
all this. Like,
And an interesting note is right after that scene where Griffith is on top of her, and it shows her crouched down like that, like you're thinking she's traumatized, but really, when we figure out at the end of Golden Age, she's pregnant with Guts' kid.
damn.
Like that's why, like during the dialogue, she's like, again, this is like a manga and the man's interpretation, but she's like not as focused in battle and stuff, and it can be interpreted that like she's feeling it, like it's
After a day,
yeah.
damn. I don't think men know how women.
that wasn't after that was like months ahead.
They
like, they had
boink
this
and then
sec-
they go on the mission
No,
because they don't boink while like Guts is part of the band. They boink after Guts comes back.
I don't know. I haven't read it recently. I could
No, yeah,
totally
they
read too
boink
much into it.
after he comes back.
I interpreted it that she was pregnant, but it could be just a trauma.
I mean, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Because that would make sense.
Mhm.
Like story wise,
Yeah.
but logically and realistically, that
No,
makes
yeah.
no sense after like
Yeah.
3 days later. But I could also be wrong because I know nothing about women. We're two white men
Right.
talking about a Japanese man
Exactly.
who thinks they know all three of us know what women do.
Yeah.
We don't.
But now, with all that precursor out of the way, where we know where Griffith's mind is at, the Bailiff had been lost in, I believe, when they were raiding.
It fell. It fell in like water,
it fell
and he
in, like,
finds
a
it
sewer
again.
thing. But the Bailiff always returns to its owner, and basically, Griffith tries to run away. The Band of Hawk try to chase after him, and the demons are all like getting ready. They're like, "Oh shit!" And I love the scene where he finds the Bailiff, and then all of a sudden, like, the Band of Hawks stand there, and there's just demons. They're not doing anything. They're just standing there, and all they're doing is waiting. They're like, come on, let's get it started.
And so a little bit of blood gets in the Bailiff's mouth.
Yep.
And it starts.
Well, first the Bailiff is like, you must say, accept me or take it all or something.
No, he just bleeds on it.
Well, that's how he activates it. But beforehand, like,
do you want power? Do you want
power? And then Griffith has like a flashback to him as early childhood and stuff. And then eventually he just says like yes, and then that's when the eclipse just fucking goes off.
Yeah. So we'll just
and the other apostles, which basically how they were made is that they also accepted the Bailiff's request. So this has happened 5 times. It kind of works like Evangelion's impacts, first impact, second impact kind of thing, where it doesn't do a reset, but like a lot of humanity gets wiped out or something like that, or something akin to that. And those are all the apostles.
Just want to make sure the lady isn't got her boobies out.
No, she's covered up.
Okay, so yeah, so this is Griffith activating the eclipse, and this is all of his friends now dead.
Yes,
because of the eclipse.
So all these characters that we had spent like 11 volumes with, just like that, are gone. And some of them, like one of them is like, oh, the Band of Hawk was just a dream. Like, this is all. And he sees a naked woman, she just kills him and stuff like that. One of them is like, has like a chest burster in him that just. And the only one that didn't show up to the eclipse
was Rickard.
So he doesn't. Throughout most of the story, he doesn't know what.
He doesn't learn about it until after Guts comes back to like get Casca.
Yeah.
And so the eclipse happens. Griffith accepts the power. He meets essentially what we would consider God.
Yeah.
And becomes this new god can called Femto.
Yeah.
And he essentially, his first act as Femto is he sexually violates Casca in front of Griffith, or in front of Guts.
Yeah.
Who
a bunch of demons are like holding Guts down, and how he gets his arm cut off is one of them bites down on his arm, so he tears it off. Like, he's animalistic rage. Yeah. Like, the artwork is so like,
he's
heartbreaking.
Pissed,
and
dude.
It shows what's happening to Casa, and it's not glorifying it. It's like just vile, because you've spent so much time with this person, and just to see her in this vulnerable state, it's like
to see all three of them. See all three of them,
because Griffith, was leading the way. Guts was his best friend, and Casa was like, they were even like, Casa and Guts were kind of breaking off, because she was like, I want to stay with Griffith. I know we were going to run away together, but I got to stay with
the band.
And now just to see Griffith just violate that trust and everything that was built up for it in this selfish, disgusting act, like, it just like hits you like nothing I've ever felt, because I didn't know anything about the eclipse going in besides like, oh, probably a bunch of them are going to die or something like that. I didn't know about that, and I was like furious. I was like, it's one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen in media.
Yeah, and it really sucks.
Yeah.
Like, as stupid as that sounds. Like, like JJ said, you're reading 11 volumes of these characters for them to just have it all gone.
Yeah, just
and
because
so
of
the invoker utters utterance of I sacrifice, and that brings forth a new god hand.
Yeah.
And so he sacrificed. Because to become a god hand, you have to sacrifice something you love and cherish. And Griffith cherishes
his band of hawks.
His bands. He loves them, but he's willing to let them go. So that way he gains power to become...
I punched my hand, that kind of hurt. That's how much I was pissed.
Like, he says it to become
And that's basically what
this
happens.
god. Like
Yeah.
he wants to become god.
And then fucking Skull Knight appears pretty fucking late. He's like, hey.
Well, because Skull Knight is fighting Zod.
Right, yeah.
Outside, because Zod's just standing there waiting
Uh-huh.
for Skull Knight, because I guess
Yeah.
they've been fighting for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've waited for you.
Mhm.
And the Skull Knight's like, get out of my way, you know I can beat you.
Mhm.
And like he can.
Mhm.
Skull Knight can beat Zod because he cuts off his fucking horn.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a mark of Zod's like
Mhm.
failure,
So-
that he can't beat the Skull Knight.
Yeah, so then Skull Knight rescues Casa and
Guts.
Guts eventually, because Guts would have gotten his ass handed to him. And then they escape, and he wakes up in this cave, and he sees Casa. It's so fucking heartbreaking. Oh my god, I'm gonna.
Costa is scared of him because
Yeah.
she doesn't want to be touched by
He
anyone.
goes into a trauma-like stance, and every time, I don't think it's every time she looks at him yet, but like she doesn't like men at all, and because of what Griffith did, and she just goes into this like, what's the word, like kind of status, kind of what am I looking for? Like she's not her anymore. She's almost like a different. She's like childlike. She doesn't like know how.
Like
to
she
walk.
regresses into an infantile,
Yeah, there we go.
latent,
Yeah,
largely mute state.
yeah,
Like she just, her soul is so distraught from being
Mhm.
violated by Griffith
yeah.
that she's gone.
And then there was like,
Like throughout the entire series, this isn't
Mhm.
Casca,
yeah.
like at all.
And then like, basically like Rickard, I think Rickard's there, right? Well, he goes
Rickard's
to like
there.
where the
no, Rickard's there.
the smith, the blacksmith,
The
is.
blacksmith and Rickard. Is there.
And basically there's one night where they're by a campfire, him and Guts and her, and he accidentally like puts his hands away when like the skirt goes down, and then him still think it's Casa, this person he loves, he goes in for a smooch, and she just totally freaks out on it, and he's like outside crying. He's like, oh my, like what the fuck is this
So
scenario?
yeah, let's just say a lot of shit happens.
Yeah.
And he's really, really sad about
And
it.
eventually the blacksmith gives him the Dragon Slayer, and they're like, hey, you want to go say goodbye to Casa? He's like, there's no point until
Well, Guts is
Yeah.
like, at this point, Guts is like, all right,
I'm going
Time
to
for
kill
me
every demon.
kill every single demon
Yeah.
on this planet
Mhm.
until I am face to face
He becomes
with
the
my
Punisher for
mortal
demons.
enemy, Griffith.
Yeah.
And so we get on to
The Black
the
Swordsman.
Black Swordsman arc.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah, we'll just say that like it's only 3 volumes.
Yeah.
So essentially, we've got the first few chapters where he fights this dude. He
Mhm.
fights this count, and the count tries to also become a god hand.
Yeah.
But he fails because he doesn't want to give up his daughter.
Mhm.
So all the god hands are like, you suck, and Guts tries to fight him, but he once again loses
Yeah.
to Griffith because he's still not strong enough.
Mhm.
Next part goes into, I think that's it, right? Is that all
That's
it
pretty
is?
much it. And then like he leaves the kingdom because because one of the
Mhm.
dads becomes this like or the king or something of that area becomes a monster.
The count dies.
The count dies.
essentially.
Yeah, and like the daughter doesn't forgive Guts, and he's like, fucking whatever.
The daughter is like, you're a monster. I hate you. If you
Yeah.
never came, this would have never happened.
Mhm.
The next time I find you, I will kill you.
Yeah.
And Guts is like, all right,
The only like
do it.
I mean,
But upon leaving,
yeah,
Puck, by the way, shows up
Gets
as a
introduced.
fairy,
yeah,
and Puck starts off as like a pretty good companion, and
yeah.
then
A
eventually
little
just
annoying at
kind of,
first, but
and then eventually just kind of drifts into like just the comic relief character
yeah,
of the story.
yeah,
I kind of hate they do that to Puck,
yeah.
because Puck, like especially at this part of the story,
Puck's last great character moments was the Lost Children arc.
yeah,
He's
and
like,
that was
"These
really
ones-
early in the
yeah.
story. So Puck then sees that
He just
Guts is upset
yeah,
by this because, like I was trying to say before,
Mhm.
Guts has a lot of like he shows off this like, I'm a badass and
Yeah.
I hate
he puts up his
everything.
front.
He puts up this huge front that everyone like thinks is like the reality,
Mhm.
but in the real reality is
Mhm.
Guts is so traumatized and
Yeah.
sad by
And
because he feels everywhere he goes
Mhm.
he is going to cause misery and death
Yeah.
because of his because not just
Because
because
of the
his
brain,
brand
yeah.
but how he was born.
And he
When
also
he was born, everyone around him told him
Mhm.
that his existence is a curse and will bring everybody misery.
Yeah, and he keeps imagining this demon child thing chasing after him. And when you first read the chapter, it's like, oh, that's just a creepy like demon baby thing. But in Golden Age, during that like cave chapter, Casa gives birth to this like little thing, and it's like the last fuck you from Griffith. That little like baby thing is their child, and like Guts is just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah, it
So it's-
eventually plays a big part toward the end,
But
but
that's Black Swordsman arc. It's literally the first chapters
You-
of the story.
I would say you still got to get through it, but if you really like, if you've heard the backlash and stuff, go Golden Age and then go Black Swordsman. I would
Honestly,
still
just start off the way it's written. Just read this.
yeah, just read it first. Just
Because
know-
then it's like
Yeah.
then you're like, holy shit, why is he so angry at
Yeah.
this one guy?
Yeah.
And then you read into it.
yeah,
Because then when the conviction arc happens, then it's like now the story really is starting.
yeah.
Right?
It's taken 14 volumes for the story to start.
Yeah, so
it's like
now it's time
Vinland
to
Saga.
do-
It's like the prelude is over.
Yeah, now it's 82 chapters.
Yeah.
What is that, like seven
Mhm.
volumes to write?
Yeah.
And so we got the Lost Children chapters where a little town has issues with these fairies
Quote unquote.
that are kidnapping kids and killing villagers. And Puck's like, those aren't fairies or elves.
Yeah.
Those are monsters. They're demons.
Mhm.
And Guts obviously sees that. But when you kill one of them, you realize that those are the missing children.
Yes.
And these little children are fucked
Fucked
up. Dude, they have fun by playing war.
Yeah.
And in that war, they murder each other
Mhm.
and essay each other. And
Yeah.
they
that-
act like
that's-
humans.
That stinger scene.
Dude, it's fucked because they're like, "Come play with us, Puck," because he looks like them,
Mhm.
and like he's like, "All right, I could sneak in."
Yeah, yeah, they're playing ball, and then Puck gets the ball, and it's an eyeball, and he's like, "What?"
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah,
And basically, like the head fairy, or I forget what the creature's called, elf-like creature. She's like, "Jill, I'm your long lost friend," or whatever.
yeah, Jill's a little
And,
girl that
she's like, "Come join
Guts helps.
the fairies with me." And then after Jill experiences the war, when the little elf creatures die, they revert back to their original body. So she just sees a field full of dead children.
Yeah, and
she's
she's
like,
I don't think this is fun.
Yeah.
And she's like, and her friend is like, "Oh no, it'll be fun once you become one of us."
yeah, yeah.
But then eventually Guts comes in,
Mhm.
kills everybody,
In the
kills
most,
everything.
this is like the most metal arc because in one of the panels, there's flames in the back, and Guts is standing there drenched in blood with a skeleton of a child all across his body because he's just like, I don't fucking care, man.
Dude, he's a fucking
Monster,
villain, dude.
Yeah.
He's a monster, and that's
Mhm.
like I think that's why I'm not as much as like I think these arcs are good too.
Yeah.
I also think like a lot of these chapters suck because Guts is just like so nonchalant
I
about
say
everything.
it still does build Guts' character, because his Jill character is just like, let me escape from this town. Let me escape from this town. And he's like, trust me, you're better off just here. And it's that iconic scene where he has his cloak around her and being like, all of this that just happened, this is my life. You really don't want to follow in this lead. Like, I don't want to be the person I am, but I am. And because people have argued like Lost Children is a filler arc because nothing, like there's no Griffith interaction or anything like that. But I don't, as long as there's character development, like filler arcs to me is like everyone just pretty much stays exactly where they were so we can get to the main plot. But like Guts does change and he is affected by this immensely, even though like most of the arc is just badass and it's like, oh my god, he took a stinger to the cheek and he's still raging on. He's still killing. And it's a good arc. We just kind of want to move past it because it's shorter, but it's very fucked up. Like the cool parts about this arc, besides characters development, is how fucked up it is.
Yeah, I think it's just really other than the eclipse, it's the most fucked up part.
Yeah, it's like the second most fucked up.
Because like it's literally just like children being murdered by this adult.
Yeah. And him just
And the
being like,
adult,
all right.
like he's like, I have to do it because they're all demons. I told myself I'm gonna kill all demons.
Every single demon. Yeah.
So then comes it says binding chain chapter, but it's really
I think this is
the
just
holy iron chapter.
Yeah.
And this introduces us to two important characters,
Mm-hmm.
Farnus and Serpico.
Yeah.
And they're both holy knights. She's the Farnese. I don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah, Farnese. She's
the commander.
Yeah.
Very religious. As a kid, she loved burning things and watching people get burned
and stuff like that.
She's a weirdo.
She is a weirdo.
I'm
reading
shocked.
that like prequel chapter because like you just figured she just grew up in a very holy thing, but like she was like
she was a weirdo
because her father was never there, so Sir Burko had to look after her in order.
And
to
they
take
have
care of
this
his mother,
weird, like lover relationship, but then you realize
but he's like,
that,
"Oh, you're my half sister."
Yeah, Serpico's like, "Wait, no, like we can't." Like in his mind, he's like, "We can't." He doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
He also is kind of like
I don't
got
think
this
he's
like
ever told her.
infatuation. No, they never
Yeah.
talk about it. Because Serpico's father said, "If you mention it, you will be disowned."
Yeah.
So he never mentions it.
Mhm.
And in this chapter, or in these chapters, the Farnese is her. They capture
They
capture Guts.
Yeah.
Because they're hearing reports that this black swordsman, everywhere he goes, demons follow.
Yeah, they stumble upon the eclipse, which is that scene where it's just blood and bodies, and like, oh my god! And then like,
they're like, oh my god, this is prophecy.
For the last 2 years, they're like, all right, who caused this? So they assume it's Guts, and they're like,
and they consider him the Falcon of Darkness because he's called the Black Swordsman. Everywhere he goes, demons appear and death follows. And so she sees the people of this world don't believe in demons,
right? Yeah,
they don't believe in any of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the coolest concepts in this story is when Griffith is in the eclipse and finds God.
Yeah,
this creature tells him, like, I am literally evil.
Yeah,
like I am evil not because I want to be, but because that's what you guys are.
Yeah,
humans are evil. Y'all think about evil shit.
Well,
y'all think about evil things to do, and that is what manifested me. If y'all were good, I could manifest. I could be called good, but I'm not, because most humans, the real world is evil.
And it's also the concept of like, you created the concept of evil to blame stuff on. Like, why did the serial killer do this thing? Because he's evil. You know, because you don't want to, like, maybe society did this. Maybe like, you created the concept of evil just to shove everything into one category, and I am that one category.
I think that's why, like, I think last week when we talked about
it's
Berserk,
technically not canonical, because like immediately after he published that in the magazine, he's like, I revealed way too much. We got to backtrack this.
I think I will say though, last week when we talked about this, now I lost my train of thought because you
last week when we talked about this.
No, I know.
Wow.
Last week when we talked about this. Oh yeah, last week when we talked about this, I was like, man, when I think about it, there's really no angels.
Yeah.
In this world, because angels probably don't exist because humans fear more than they believe.
The closest thing to heaven was Nifl or Iffelheim.
Yeah, even then they're still not. Even then they're still not like angels.
Yeah,
and because like when I think of like
that's just the most peaceful place in all of Berserk.
When I think of like demons and hell and all of that, there'd be an opposite, right?
Yeah,
and there isn't because humans don't believe in the opposite. Enough.
Yeah,
they only believe that things are evil. So
Berserk is the grimmest of
Farnese. Farnese is like, because she's naive. Most people are naive. They don't believe in demons. They don't believe in magic. They don't believe in any of this shit. So when she finally meets Guts and sees the actual demons, she is like completely shattered.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing. And while she's still kind of like really on her fuck shit with love and religion, she's slowly but surely like losing it.
Yeah.
Because
and like because she's been so like there's even a scene where she's torturing Guts and he's not feeling shit, but she's like kind of getting off on it. Like she's like whipping him and stuff, and then she's like
in the next chapter. There's a part in the next chapter where she's in bed laying thinking about like why she's so in love with burning people.
Yeah.
She starts doing the devil's tango with herself.
Doing the record scratch.
Yeah. Towards like and in the fireplace she sees a burning corpse.
Yeah.
She's a crazy person, which blows me away that they make her a party member. And then like and then she's like, oh yeah, I'm just such a little weakling, I'm such stupid. But then you remind yourself, oh yeah, she did
she did
burn like a lot of people, and
she
really got off to
this is the only like kind of I would say not exploitive, what am I saying, edgy part is the horse. Like that was just kind of there for
well, no, it was
look
really
how
there.
fucked up it is.
It was really there to be like Guts hates these demons, and it was kind of to show Farnus that Guts doesn't like the demons. He's not part of them.
That horse is
fucking
crazy
hates
looking.
them, and he tries to kill. He has to kill these demons all night to protect this one girl who then gets possessed and then goes on top of his sword and starts rubbing herself on his sword.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck am I reading? So the next chapter is like this giant holy city where Guts tries to find Casca. Casca's somewhere in there, and he has a vision where she's going to be burned at the stake.
Yeah.
They go and save Casca. While all this is going on, these demons are doing some fuck shit.
Yeah.
And guess who fucking returns like a little punk ass bitch?
Fucking asshole.
So Griffith comes back. But you may be asking, what do you mean he comes back? He's always been there. He's just a fucking demon now. God hands can't roam the world freely. They can only appear when somebody summons them through the bailiff or whatever the fuck it's called.
Bailiff. Or
bailiff.
That's how I say it.
Bailiff.
Yeah.
But Griffith using like some demon using the baby corpse of Griffith and Casca's.
Yeah, because they never kill the baby.
Yeah, he never dies. Guts never kills it. He is reborn.
Yeah.
He comes back to life.
As Griffith, which is like really the ultimate fuck you.
And I'm going to be completely honest, this might sound like low-key like gay from me.
Okay.
But like he like is even prettier.
Oh yeah. Griffith is
in this new form.
The whole existence of Griffith's like appearance is like he's supposed to be the chosen one. He's supposed to be the savior, but he's all those things, but like a dark, fucked up version of that. But when you look comparison, like you would think Guts, oh, he's like the evil bastard, which he is.
Black. He's called the Black Sword.
Right.
Darker.
Griffith, this is like he looks essentially like Jesus. He's like, oh, I am so holy and pretty, and everyone loves me, kind of thing. Where Guts is the good guy, essentially, or the closest thing to a good guy in the Berserk universe.
What else is like that? There's also another story that's like that, where like the bad guy is actually the good guy.
But yeah, basically, like Griffith is like a dark messiah.
Yeah. So yeah, Griffith comes back. Guts saves Casca, and they both go on their way.
And then Guts and Zod fight again for a little bit.
Yeah.
Every Zod and Guts fight is pretty cool because every time Zod is like, "Oh, you're getting better,
man. You're getting a lot stronger."
And now
according to a lot of the characters, Guts' sword after killing so many demons, grows stronger.
Yeah.
And like it's leveling up like a fucking JRPG. So Griffith returns.
Yeah.
And
those swords are put in by Ricker. He didn't know what happened. He didn't know he just died.
Yeah. So Guts and Casca go back to the blacksmith.
Right.
Blacksmith is dead and everything. And Rickert makes this memorial for all his fallen brothers and sisters in the band of the Hawk. Right? So Guts is like, oh, that's really heartwarming. It's pretty sick. And then Griffith just shows up and is like, "Yo, what up, fam? How you doing?
How you doing?"
How you
And then
doing?"
immediately Gus goes, "I'm gonna fucking."
Yeah, and Rickard's like, "Why are you gonna do that? Why
Yeah.
are you gonna kill him?" Because Guts has never told Rickard what happened.
Yeah.
And then Griffith just kind of just wanted to show up and be like,
He's just there. He's always there just to be like,
"Yeah, it's literally just
Yeah.
like a like
pointing and laughing like,
yeah,
"I'm a motherfucker."
try something."
And then
he-
Guts goes to try, and then Zod intervenes. And I love this type of storytelling and power scaling. Like, Guts is struggling with Zod, and Zod's on Griffith's side. So Guts stands no chance against Griffith.
Yeah,
Not at all.
and Griffith is, and then this shatters Rickard's mind because
Yeah.
he's like, "What? Why is he with a demon?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he says they killed everybody."
Uh-huh.
And then Guts is like,
Guts is like, "Get the fuck out of here."
no, once everything happens, Guts is like,
Yeah.
"Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what fucking happened."
Okay.
So
you
I
have to
waited,
sit down for this
I
one.
waited long enough
Yeah.
to tell you what happened
Mhm.
to everybody. And Rickard finds out, horrified, obviously.
He just walks away and it's like, "Bye, Rickard."
And then
Rickard's
he's
just
like, "What the fuck?" And then Rickard's like, "That's fucking crazy." And this little girl right here
Yeah.
is like, "Oh no, the only place for Casca to hide is now destroyed."
Mhm.
And then Puck's like, "Well, golly, if you come back to my home, she'll be safe and fine." So their whole journey embarks on them going to
Yeah.
find a place for Casca,
And all this happening, Griffith is slowly building an army.
slowly building up
Yeah.
a new revamped band of the
Hawk.
Band of the Hawk.
Yeah.
And so he does like miracles, like apparently these are all the dead souls of the
Yeah.
soldier that have fought.
So he says.
These
And
guys,
we kind of went past the Indian fighter guy.
oh yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
these guys just show up and
Yeah.
take over all of the land.
Well, he showed up in Golden Age, but
That's what I'm saying. These guys show up at the end of the eclipse to just murder everybody.
yeah, like ass.
So the land is being conquered by all of these
Demon monster hybrid things.
Yeah. And Griffith is back to kind of build an army to stop them.
Yeah.
All the meanwhile, shown that.
See?
Meanwhile, Guts goes on an adventure to bring Casca to a place that she can recover and
and
be
be
safe.
safe. Yeah, because they're both branded.
and then we get
The witch lady.
reintroduced to these two characters. This
Yeah.
is Frannis, this is Sir Pico,
Yeah.
and then we get Ichiori.
Yeah.
He shows up. He kind of just shows up out of nowhere. Guts saves him from fighting like these bandits, and he's just infatuated by Guts because he's like, "I'm gonna be a swordsman just like
Yeah.
Guts," and so he just follows him like a fucking freak.
Yes.
And then we meet this
Which
witch lady. I'm trying to see if we'll get a good image of her. No. No.
Oh my god, the goblins. Jesus.
That's why I'm
Christ.
trying to like make sure I.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, there she
I
is.
love this thing. Yeah.
So she is introduced. I can't pronounce her fucking name, but she's a witch. And she helps Guts find this mistress witch, who then tells her like where to go, gives him the berserker armor. And they all become like a big old happy family. And in this part, like Guts is like, "Oh, you know what? Friends are.
Yeah.
The journey is the friends we make."
Yeah, but it's done in a better way than that.
Yeah.
But that's like that's the berserker armor right there. Skull Knight's like, "Yeah, I remember when they wore that shit," and then the witch lady is like,
Yeah. So Guts finally dons the berserker armor.
But during all this, there's a village that needs help with goblins, and you're like, "Oh, all right, goblins." Just like,
these goblins are fucked,
Oh,
dude. You want to talk about Goblin Slayer, bro? For like a second? No,
yeah,
I'm saying it's
this
literally
is like
Goblin
this is where they
Slayer
get the
from
inspiration from. I was like, "Oh my god!" And the goblins look like
disgusting.
disgusting.
I don't even want to show
Yeah,
any of the chapters or any of the images from that chapter.
because it's just.
They just
Like right when it's like, "Oh, look at this nice like witch house and stuff like that," and "Oh, those goblins are a little ugly," and then you're like, "Oh god."
yeah, no, it's really fucked up.
Yeah.
So
So that's the Berserker armor.
So Guts gets the Berserker armor because Griffith shows up and tries to kill the mistress.
Yeah.
They go to a port city because they need to get a boat to go to the fucking.
And that little blonde demon child.
This person, we don't know if she's a demon.
No, I'm just saying she's a piece of shit.
She's not really a piece of shit. She's just crazy.
Griffith just essentially groomed her into
liking her.
Yeah.
So the war eventually finally catches up to Guts. They have to fight all the demon monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Guts and all his friends fight the demon monsters and the demon guy.
Yeah.
He has to team up with Zod. Part of it. Like, a lot of shit happens, and Griffith is like, all right, time to fucking murder shit. And the evil king of the bad guys, of the guys who invaded the land, turns into like a giant monster demon.
Giant tentacle monster.
Because he's so terrified of Griffith.
Yeah.
Because once
he's
again,
I'm going to turn into a tree now.
because once again, Griffith is a god hand, and they are literally godlike figures.
Mm-hmm.
So Griffith kills him, goes to, I guess, finish it off. And whether this was part of Griffith's plan or not,
we still don't know.
The Skull Knight tries to slay Griffith, and apparently his weird little sword built from all the byleths that he's eaten can slice a hole between worlds. And he dodges it. He slices through the world, and the world is brought into chaos because now all of the all the astral world creatures, being like demons, fairies, everything, are now colliding with the mortal world. And now all these humans are trying to go to this new utopia.
Yeah. And I love that little like moonish thing in the background. You're like, oh, what is that? And then you're like, you remember Griffith, and you're like, that almost looks like an eclipse.
It's gonna sacrifice the world.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy. This Millennium Falcon arc, it is really dope.
It's very much building up like Griffith getting his kingdom and stuff like that. And for Guts, it's building up his relationship with the rest of the cast, being like, "Oh, these people are my family."
Or these dumbasses, and it's like, "Oh no, they're Guts' new friends."
Yeah, and then we get to the Fantasia arc, which is
starts off really bad. I'm gonna be honest.
I hate the pirate stuff. I don't like it at all.
That was so dumb.
Yeah.
And then
the art in this though is spectacular. But
because it's like it's peak. You're introduced to this child.
Is that the mermaid one?
No.
Oh, that's the moonlit.
It's the moon child, which coincidentally looks a lot like Guts and
Casa's
kid. Every time Guts is in his berserker form and the witch can't get to him, this child always appears to save Guts. And then you learn a little more about Griffith's new Holy Land.
This is
this was the dopest scene. Rickard gets invited to meet Griffith after overcoming, he shows and
everyone's like hyped about it. It's like, oh, he's part of the original Hawks.
He's the original Hawks.
Yeah.
And most people that aren't demons are like, that's badass. Demons pretty much kind of know that this guy should have died. And then Rickard's like, all Rickard does, he doesn't say a fucking, he does say a word to Griffith. He's like, I don't want to join. Well, the first thing he does is just fucking slaps the shit out of Griffith.
This is where I want to get to. This is an answered question. He is able to slap Griffith. Guts, in the later chapters, like after Memora dies and everything like that, he swings his Dragon Slayer sword, can only get a hair off of Griffith. How can Rickard do that to Griffith, but Guts can't slice him down? How does that work?
Maybe it was just Griffith
fused with it. Right.
Griffith just
it could be that, or
Griffith's like, I'm gonna allow him to slap me. I don't really care.
Or it could be something like people who weren't exposed to the eclipse may be able to technically land a hand on him, but most are not skilled enough, kind of thing. Like, that's still an unanswered question. It's just fascinating.
I don't know. I feel like you're reading too much into it.
I hope they pay it off. If they don't, then it's just as simple like, oh, you just let him, and I think that's lame.
I know it sounds lame to you, but I
Yeah.
think that's the honest God truth.
Yeah.
Because like it doesn't like I feel like you're reading into it a
Yeah.
little too much.
But honestly, the
Unfortunately,
Fantasia arc is just like he's fighting demon pirates and stuff. Like I'm like, all right.
he's fighting demon shit, and then
Yeah.
they all find the land of the elves.
Mhm.
They have a ball. They all are having a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Casca comes back. Her
After
memories.
they fight a bunch of penis monsters.
Yeah, it is literally just penis monsters.
Yeah.
The witch lady and Frannis learns to be a witch.
Yeah.
They all come together.
But every
and
time Castle looks at
Guts, he goes crazy.
she goes crazy
because she's traumatized
Yeah.
by everything.
And then Berserk's like, all right, I guess I gotta go kill Griffith.
And well, he doesn't really know.
No, he doesn't know yet. Yeah, he's like, maybe we should just stay like this.
We should just be happy.
Yeah.
And then I want to see if I can find it.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden the Moonlight Child turns into Griffith.
That's what I want to find. I want
Yeah.
to find that chapter.
That would be 30 or 3. Let's see, how many chapters? 67. Maybe 65. No, 64 is the last Memorial chapter. 364. Sorry. That's the last one.
So this shit goes hard because here's what's so crazy about this. Here's what's so crazy about this. This is not to be like, yay, I'm glad that this happened. It's so cool. The author, this is the author because the author of Berserk has died. He died, what, 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
This is the last thing he worked on. This massive cliffhanger. And I didn't really understand that at the time because I never read fucking Berserk. But now that I know that this is the last fucking thing he worked on and left the series in such a cliffhanger, I think that is the most badass way to go. Yeah. You leave your magnum opus on this biggest cliffhanger.
For people to talk about for generations.
I would have stopped. Obviously, no, because money.
Yeah.
But this is so cool. Because when I read this, I deadass am not kidding you. I was freaking out upstairs in my room. I was like, holy shit, this is how it ends?
Yeah.
And then like the next page that I read is like, by the way, the author has passed away.
Yeah.
This is his last manuscript. He has more things written and notes and all this. We might come back with more. We might not. We don't know. All that shit. But this being the last thing he worked on,
if they
is
were
fucking nuts
to just leave it, I think it is still, even though it ends on a cliffhanger, a pretty good fucking ending. Because you can interpret it any way you want. Maybe he apologizes.
Because here's the thing, like for me, if they didn't make other shit, because they made new chapters, and the next chapters they reveal that this is actually Griffith, and he steals Casa. He goes away. He destroys the Elf Island. Guts is so powerless against Griffith that he throws his sword at him, and it just lands on Griffith, and he's like,
okay.
And like Guts is so demoralized by this, he's crying. His friends are all about to get murdered by the evil.
Well, essentially, those little shadow demons that were in the dungeon in Golden Age arc, like that, like take over the land or whatever, and then essentially what Griffith does in the new chapters and stuff, and apparently a good friend of Mura.
By the way, here's the last page. This is
Basically,
the last page in the whole book.
Yeah, basically, he's running it, and basically he said, yeah, he told me the ending, so we're going to go off of that. And if it was worst art, I would be like, why the fuck did you do this? Just do like a light novel version or something like that, if you really want us to know. But the art's still on par. I mean, it's not as good, obviously, but it's not terrible. It's pretty good art. But basically, Griffith shows up because throughout the Fantasia arc, things are looking pretty bright. I mean, obviously, there's some gore here and there, but like out of all the other arcs, it's been okay. Guts has a family. It's all right. And then Griffith just fucking shows up and is like, hey, you can't hit me. And also, when he goes to try to hit him again, he's got Casa in his arms. She had 3 or 4 chapters where she recovered. And then Griffith goes, bye.
Yeah,
Goes away.
He just looks at Guts and
Yeah.
is like, smile. He's like,
hey. And he just goes away. And not only that, he nukes Iffelheim or whatever the fuck it's called. So then his whole happy family has to move. And they don't even know what the fuck is going on until like when they get back on the ship. And then during the ship, this is why I like the new chapters, because it's still like, oh, this is really interesting and really cool. They have a couple fan servicey moments here and there. But they're like, Guts is just like standing there on the ship going like, all of that, capturing, because
everything
everything from the conviction arc
was for nothing.
Nothing at all. And the only thing he's ever had is the Dragon Slayer sword to keep him company, to keep him safe. And he just looks at that thing and it's like, nothing. Like, what do I do? And he crumples on the floor, and the sword goes on the floor, and then it's just so like well done and artistically that I still like the recent chapters. Like, as long as I keep up with this quality and like Casa being in the castle and just feeling empty because like, you know, this is a fairy tale ending, but not how they got there. Like, because technically this is everything she ever wanted,
but it's not
the way she got there. Is not,
but it's not really a fairy tale ending because she's captured.
Right.
She's trapped in this fake world,
in this hollow
and
castle.
She's continuously having her mind,
toyed with,
broken. Like messed with, like being cleaned, and then she remembers the truth.
But an interesting thing is when she has flashbacks to Guts and wanted to go back to Guts, it's his modern version. So does that mean when she looks at Guts now, that won't happen to her?
Maybe. Real quick, I want you to hear my interpretation if they never fucking made new chapters.
Okay.
I think this was going to be a different Griffith.
Like, well, explain.
I think this Griffith isn't the same Griffith that's at the Falconia.
Okay.
I think this is like some weird child that was mixed between Griffith.
Oh, so like both the DNA of okay.
And it's just like
this evil homunculus looking thing.
Like it's this homunculus version of that child that is both. Oh, you know what? Actually, you know what it could be?
Could have been,
because it says like the child only comes out at night, right?
Yeah.
At a full moon.
Yeah.
What if it's both Guts and Casca's child and Griffith?
I'm not following.
Like, like the werewolf thing, like at the full moon it turns into a werewolf.
Yeah.
At the full moon, Griffith turns into Guts' child. And the child always goes to find his dad.
Yeah.
But then he leaves before sunrise because it turns back into Griffith.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's one again. Like if it just
that'd be
so
so cool.
That, yeah, I more viewed it as like if it were to just end, I more viewed it as like Casa and like if this is just the end, right? Like no more chapters coming out. Like Guts and Casa kind of look at this Moonlight Child and they're projecting that it's Griffith. You know, it's not actually Griffith. It's still the Moonlight Child, but just seeing like. No matter what Griffith did, like they did bring them together and stuff. And this is like, you know, now we get to see Griffith move on, walk away, and we can move on with our life.
Oh,
kind of thing. So not even like Guts like trying to save the world or anything. It's like we're not even going to worry about. That's why he's crying. We're not even going to worry about you anymore. You're just out of our lives forever. This is like the final goodbye. That's how I would have interpreted it. But I get. Like, that's what would have been kind of cool. And you could still do that, even with the new chapters and stuff. You could just, in your head, be like, that doesn't count. That's not canon. My fan canon is this is how it ends.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they did say they're working with the remaining notes and manuscripts that he's left behind. Yeah.
Hopefully they're detailed. Because so far the chapters have been nothing but hits, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
I love that little. Well, I don't
uh,
love it, but like that little
dude.
fucking smirk when Griffith
Yeah.
gets back to the castle, being like, because he doesn't have to do any of this to Guts.
He's just doing it because
He's
he
just
hates
doing
him.
it because I don't even think he hates him. I think it's like he's just playing with him.
I think
Yeah.
I think Griffith does
He just
still.
loves
No, I think
fucking with him.
I think Griffith still hates Guts.
Yeah.
I think like Griffith's like, you fucking ruined
Mhm.
my whole fucking life, man.
Yeah. Now, do you think Griffith ever loved Casa, or do you think he loved the fact he was in control of Casa?
So yes, that goes back
Because
to
there's another theory, of course, that like Griffith is actually in love with Guts and stuff like that. There's plenty of theories with that, which obviously they got
it goes
gay
back
boy
to
tendencies.
it goes back to the Golden Age arc
Yeah.
when we were talking about it, where it's like Griffith does care about everyone in the band of Hawks.
Mhm.
It's just after Guts left, the underlying issue is that he has control problems.
Mhm.
He wants to feel like he's in control of everything, even though he cares about his friends.
He's always wanted to be seen as a god and a leader.
Yeah,
And he'll do anything to get that.
and he will trap Casca in a castle
Mhm.
for her whole life to feel in control of her.
Yeah.
It's pretty much it. I think right now, yeah, it's more just I want to control her and to fuck
Just
with
keep
God.
her away from demons. I don't want to see her near another demon.
But
Yeah.
dude, I just am thinking like if this is the last thing we ever saw,
I wouldn't be upset.
bro, that would have been so hype.
Yeah.
That would be hype. I don't know why that would be hype, but it's just like such like a good like hurrah. Because somebody who's made such a great story.
Yeah.
Because like this is such an awesome fucking cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's the same way how Vagabond hasn't ended, but the author hasn't worked on it since like 2007 or something like that. Like, it didn't end on a cliffhanger, but it was like the last chapter thing. But like, it's still held as like one of the greatest manga series, and I still see it as such. But it's just hard with Berserk because you built it up so much, and people want to know how it ends. And according to like what they were saying is like they were pretty close. I think they can't rush this. They can't just come out with 10 chapters and be like, that's the end of the Berserk. This has to be like 50 chapters long at the bare minimum to like answer everything. But they still set up a lot of stuff that they have not paid off. We just recently paid off who the Skull Knight's true identity is. We just got to that.
Yeah, that he was the old king, right?
Yes.
The guy, the king of kings.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it was hinted. It wasn't really explicit.
It was very hinted, but then like the new chapter, which was like, hey, that's it. Pretty much.
Yeah, dude.
But okay, so do you like the new chapters? I like them. I think so far
they're
they're good.
right. I think they're all right. I feel like
I don't, because that chapter gave us the Griffith being like, bye, and I just kind of love that, just like adios, because Gus is just like now he's just like, what the fuck?
I think like while it does match a similar tone
Yeah.
to what Berserk is, it kind of doesn't leave me in a good place like you are.
Mhm.
I feel like it is very much back to this whole, because the way this ends, like we were saying, like it can go anywhere and
Yeah.
it leaves like this very gray feeling.
Mhm.
But with the ending, it is very much this black and white, like
Yeah.
Griffith evil, Guts good.
Mhm.
It's like, oh man, like that's kind of boring
Yeah, but
to me.
it's always been kind of like that, though.
No, but
Griffith has always been.
we were just discussing that it was going to be where Guts moves on. Like, I
Right,
had a
yeah,
feeling that Guts was like done.
Yeah.
Guts was finally going to give up on his.
Well, but that's what I like about it, because Berserk has always been like, oh, you have a moment of peace. Guess what? No more. And like this new chapter that came right after it very much felt, because Fantasia was going. I mean, obviously they were fighting like krakens and demons and stuff, but like it was going pretty good for the gang. And like it was almost weird. It was like, this is a little too positive. Like what's the end game to this kind of thing? Like, is this really where we're going?
Yeah, no, there has to be once again a
like
Empire Strikes Back moment.
Yeah. And I would feel dissatisfied if like Fantasia was the last arc, because it's nothing but feel good vibes, and like Casca just returns, and then we're just gonna end it like, oh, and then they live happily ever after kind of thing. Like that would be like, oh, really? That's kind of what art. Whereas like And 6
The thing
chapters.
is, we don't. To be fair, we don't really know that because Guts was still kind of like teetering back and forth.
Right, yeah.
So it could still have gone to this black and white point, but it was fun to think about it and to now have the answer to me.
Yeah.
At least to me, I'm not saying it makes the story bad or that it makes these chapters
I don't
terrible.
think it makes it bad.
No, obviously.
Yeah.
I just, for me, I am like, damn, that sucks.
You still got to keep reading it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to wait now because I did just speed run like 30 years worth of content.
I've been reading like Gintama now just to like ease myself.
Might get back into One Piece.
Yeah.
But
you should.
Yeah, dude, this is a good series, man. I really, really, really liked it.
Now, do you think it's the best manga you've ever read in your life? I teeter on the 3, Vinland, Berserk, and Vagabond, now that I've pretty much read all 3.
I think I would much rather read Vinland Saga more.
I think on reread, I would say Vinland. Art-wise, it's this.
Close. Recent chapters of Vinland Saga is really fucking good.
No, they're good, but I mean, all of Berserk is like
no, literally masterpieces. I've made
and the only thing that comes close to that is like Vagabond. But Vagabond. All right, Vagabond from like a. I don't know how to explain this. Berserk from like an art and storytelling wise, or I want to say story character wise.
A fucking plus.
A plus. The board. I mean, all these are A plus across the board, but like A plus. Vagabond story wise and like kind of like the philosophical like debates because it's based on like Japanese like samurai fighting and like mythology and stuff like that. And, like, where do we go from war and why do we fight? Blah blah blah. And then Vinland Saga, also that I have no enemies, like that kind of thing. So the way I would rank the 3 is it would probably be Vagabond, Vinland, and then Berserk. Because I've never felt so. Claymore is like Berserk but shonen.
Yeah,
it's like Berserk light. It doesn't have a lot of characters.
I'll say this though, like Berserk, obviously,
Claymore is still very good.
Very fucking good.
Yeah,
manga. I just think what I like about Vinland Saga more is a very gray.
I like how different it is.
Yeah, it's not
because like, you start out with this badass arc, and then the rest of it is just like, I want to build a land where everyone can feel free.
Love my brother.
Yeah,
he did not like Vinland Saga's bullshit on.
I know. I knew he was gonna
on Thorfinn being like, you know what, I'm gonna live for peace.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes, especially after that like initial arc on the farm.
Yeah.
What makes the rest of the story really good because it challenges Thorfinn's new fate.
Yeah. It challenges storytelling because you go from a badass like fighting Satan into like talking about like, well, how do we make this land and how do we build it? How do we,
how do I win fights without fighting?
Without fighting, yeah.
How do I keep my friends safe without picking up a sword?
You know how like battle manga, it's like thrilling to see fights and stuff, and like same with Berserk, it's thrilling to see fights. The thrilling part of Vinland Saga is seeing Thorfinn's dream, but this one's a good dream, come true. Like that's the most thrilling part of Vinland Saga. You want to see Thorfinn against like this cruel Viking world succeed.
And now in the most recent chapters, this cruel unknown world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely read Vinland more. I think Vinland is probably my favorite out of all of them. What about you?
I still say Berserk. Well, all of Vagabond and Vinland and Berserk have given me emotional punches and like just like, oh my god, like actual like tear shedding. Berserk delivered that the most. Like I just like
nothing has made you talk almost 2 hours about it.
Right, yeah, because I was like, oh man, like we'll talk about TMNT a little bit, and we'll maybe talk an hour about Berserk, and 2 hours later.
I was like, man, after this, you know what? I'm gonna finally work on the gaming dip.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah.
Because it's already really late. I've got work in the morning. I'm going on a trip.
Yeah.
And just an FYI, I'll probably then at this point, because I've
Mhm.
held it back a little bit longer,
Yeah.
I might just wait until the end of the month to make like a whole month
Yeah.
like gaming dip. Maybe call it the
Um,
gaming dive. I don't know if you've got time to make a
So with
comic
Comic Con,
video.
I am no longer going to be doing news anymore. I just can't find the motivation to do it. What I am going to do instead every week is a why you should read a specific character. So it's either going to be
That's
manga or stuff like that. So like why
Yeah,
you should
do it.
read
Bro, we got an
Spider-Man.
audience.
What is Spider-Man all about? What comics should you read? What media should you watch? That kind of thing, you know?
Bro, it's about experimenting. We have no
Yeah.
audience. If we can't find the time to do it, we'll make something that works.
Yeah, and then next week I really got to start on the special project.
Dude, you're telling me, bro. I've been trying to make
I got to wake up early weekends. That's the thing. Once I wake up early weekends, do from like 7 to 12 of just pure editing, then I get into the groove of things.
Yeah.
But like
You gotta act
I've
like
been
it's
sleeping
work.
in. Yeah, yeah.
But I
anyways.
also have to do the same thing because I'm trying to do 2 videos for my main channel,
Mhm.
which is about La La Land and
Yeah.
Bridgerton,
Mhm.
and I just can't find the time to do
Yeah.
it. So
But
don't expect things,
Yeah.
but also expect things.
things.
We have lives. Unfortunately, this stuff isn't our career. We would love it
Yeah.
to be our career.
Fuck,
Trying to
it's just
find-
growing.
Yeah, we are trying to find the time to do it.
Yeah.
Not to make excuses, but you know,
Life happens. Adult life happens. If we
Yeah.
were teenagers with no jobs or like
college
where we work
students-
like 4 days a week, like we would become, but we're grown ass men.
Yeah.
So Berserk, final verdict, I would say sucks ass. Absolute
honestly,
fire.
garbage. Like,
Yeah.
why would they? Why would the author die right at the cliffhanger? They're so stupid. Should have lived.
Watch Boku
Should
no
have lived
Pico
40.
2 times instead. Akame got killed 5 times. Watch that instead. Also, another shitty 3D anime. Watch that instead of reading Berserk, I would say.
I think you guys should all watch.
Watch Naruto again. I know you're gonna do it again. I'm telling the audience, watch it again. We know you're gonna do it instead of watch One Piece. So just fucking
Honestly, just read Beastars. That's all.
hey, Beastars is good. Come on,
Just read Beastars. No, watch JoJo's. That's better.
no. Play Yakuza instead. Bye.